welcome back to Senin. I know I haven't posted in a while, and it was mainly due to a lack of motivation. I feel like I reached my goals for why I was posting. And three, this kind of is a combination of both, but I just didn't feel very creative anymore, and I didn't really feel like I needed an outlet for my artistry, or just I guess for what I felt. I feel like everyone should express themselves through different mediums or whatever medium they're choosing, and be consistent at it. And so I chose, I guess, a video. I've journaled for a lot of my life, and so that's where it kind of stemmed from. And then I got tired of typing, so I started video journaling, and then eventually I started posting it. And so I'm back again. I'm restarting Obscene. I wrote some notes down, but we're going to change kind of the format. I'm not going to do videos of me living life. Instead, I'm going to do videos of me talking about life and talking about mentality. And it's not to influence people to take my approach. It's not even to, well, it's never to get the haters. But it's really not to get famous or make money. I just want to show a potential path that other individuals younger than me, or even older than me maybe, if it's not too late, can take towards their life to reach a level of success. And success for me, because I know success is different for everybody, but success for me is, one, getting a wife. Two, I guess, getting more money. Three, looking better. I guess looking better and getting more money are kind of generic. Getting a wife is very specific. But I would say getting more money, I guess maybe it's not about the money. It's honestly just more about financial freedom. For me, I really don't care to be a trillionaire or even like a 100 millionaire. But I just want that financial freedom and to be able to do what I want to do. And then getting physically fit. I still have the goal of running 2 miles in 16 minutes that I've set for myself. But I want to gain a lot of weight over this holiday season. So I just need to shed off that excess fat right now. But yeah, so once all those 3 goals happen, then I'm probably going to stop posting my mentality videos or just this segment of the Senin Life. I have a lot of ideas, and so I could probably talk for hours about them, but I'm going to try to make this more concise and more specifically towards my mindset towards life. And so I guess I'll start with something that I've recently been doing. Well, recently with the work that I've been doing is, sorry, one second, someone from work just emailed. Okay. So one habit that I've been implementing more is just writing things down, and I found it has really helped me to remember things. And it's not the big things. I think most people remember the big things in their life, like, oh, what meetings are happening today? Oh, who are we going out to with lunch? Or what are tonight's plans? Like, I think everyone can remember those. But can you remember the interaction that you had randomly with a person crossing the street? Can you remember the interaction that you had with a bird flying through the trees? Right? I think these so many things pass by our lives that go undocumented, and maybe a lot of people already do, and I'm late to the game. But just from what I've seen, I don't see a lot of other people keeping track of their lives and keeping a journal, I guess. So that's one thing that I've been doing recently. And then two, I want to start posting them. So I have started recording myself, reading these and expanding more upon them. But let me ask ChatGPT. Reorder list for given plan. Let's see. Another thing is AI. AI has been getting so good recently, in my opinion. Fine. Okay, let's see what I wrote. Okay, yeah, here we go. How do I become the best man I can physically be, mentally be, and financially be? Physically, I am going to stay active every day. So that means for me, either rock climbing, going to the gym, or playing basketball. And I'm also going to be fasting. So that means I don't eat lunch, which I've been doing, but once I went on winter break, I kind of stopped doing. So now I'm back to that. Mentally, I'm going to start consuming more valuable information over than brain rot or just junk, right? Personally, I think I spend too much time on just slop. And it's not that I scroll. I don't really scroll on Reels, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts that often. Occasionally I do, but what gets me a lot is I like watching the YouTube documentaries. And those aren't, like, I could watch more valuable ones to my life. And for you, maybe the social world is what's important. So then you should watch all those social media ones. Or I don't know, you're a sports broadcaster, so you should watch all these sports history ones. But for me, I don't think I watch enough tech ones. I'm in the tech world. I don't think I watch enough tech ones, and so I need to. And so that's a change that I want to make. And then financially, I said I'm going to get better at stocks and investing. I think that's a huge hole in a lot of people's vision. I guess I really didn't start looking at stocks until last year. So I don't know, maybe I'm late to the game on that. And then second, I might go back for my MBA. So I'm going to start studying for that, and we'll see how interesting my life becomes when I lock down for that. Because I know I'm going to have to just head down, focus, study every day for 3 or 4 hours, just get it done within a month. Because, and this is kind of stepping back at a higher level of my mentality, but I was getting a lot of black pill stuff, which is looks maxing, and I was thinking about why are we looks maxing when I can life max? Like why wouldn't you want to life max at the end of the day, right? You should try to live life to the full YOLO. And I don't think a lot of people have taken the life maxing approach. You take the looks maxing approach of willing to do whatever it takes to be the most attractive you can be. Instead of you switch it to the mentality through life, you do whatever it's possible to make your life however you want it to be. So it doesn't matter. It's whatever your definition of success is, and everyone can get there differently. Everyone does different stuff to get there differently. And I think a lot of people are just too content, I guess nowadays. And when I say I think other people are, I think I'm too content personally, because there always can be more. Always more can be done. And personally, I would rather rest for the next 60 years of my life, or sorry, not the next 60, but the last 60 years of my life, and work the first 40 to the bone. And I would say from my perspective now, what I think I'll have to do in the next 8 years to get to a financial situation that I want to be is going to be double what I've done the first beginning of my life. And I'm not afraid of that, right? I think I was afraid of it. I think I didn't want to look at the full scope of the work to be done to get to where I want to be successful. But then a part of me also says that I have to accept it. That it doesn't really matter how much it is, because I was going to have to do it regardless. Yeah. Some other slop that I've been watching is it's not really slop because I think it's really interesting to watch people's mentalities change. But is Hell's Kitchen? Or no, sorry, not Hell's Kitchen. Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay. And if you've never watched the show before, what he does is he goes to these failing restaurants. He also goes to failing hotel businesses. So I've watched those too. And basically he fixes the place within 4 days. And it's really amazing what he does is because he mentally breaks them down, makes them face reality of that they're shit. But he does it in a way where he lets them know he's there to help them. You know, when people criticize you, there's definitely people that are trying to tear you down versus there are people that are trying to show you the facts, the reality of the situation, and they're trying to get you to acknowledge that so you can take the proper steps. Because you can't make a good decision if you don't have all the information or if you have wrong information. How are you supposed to make the right decision if the question on the test gives you, or if the teacher before the test gives you the wrong information, how are you supposed to do well on the test, right? So I think another thing it's shown me is that a lot of these people don't really understand what they don't know. And let me see, I wrote it down here better. Yeah, people don't know what they need to be or what they need to be successful, right? Because if we did know, then we would just do it, right? And I think and at that point, if you do know and you don't do it, then there's no one you can blame but yourself. And personally, though, I would rather be in the situation where I hold responsibility versus I don't know what it is and I'm just like floundering around, right? So it's not as bad as knowing and not doing something. It's not as bad as not knowing and not doing anything. But getting yourself motivated should be the easiest part of success because it's for yourself. Even if you're selfish, you'd want to do it for yourself, right? And so I don't really understand a lot of these people that are just doing the bare minimum. And I guess I'm saying this because I don't think I do the bare minimum, but I definitely don't do as much as I want to do. And I guess that's why I'm making this video. Yeah, so another thing is Kitchen Nightmares has some really good quotes. Gordon Ramsay has some really nice quotes. So, of course, all these places are failing, right? So he goes, "We are seeking, and nobody knows how fast we are." Right? Like, just imagine that. You're on a boat, you're sinking. Isn't it more anxious to not know how fast you're going to get? Like, you can't see you're in the boat, but you can't see outside, but you can feel yourself, you're going down in the water. But you don't know if you're going to be down in the next 5 minutes or you're going to be down in the next hour, right? I think the mentality towards those two different situations is completely different. And so I guess that goes back to life maxing. Why wouldn't you always act like you only have 5 minutes left? I think if a lot of people lived with, like they only have 5 minutes left to live, I don't know, because people get more extreme. I guess it depends on how people react. But the way that I react when I have 5 minutes left to live, or if I have 5 minutes left to figure out a problem, I'm going to be going way faster than if I think I have an hour just to do one problem. And I think that already there is a mistake to my mentality. Because it shouldn't matter how much time I have left. I should always try to do the best, and the best work I can do, the fastest I can do it, and the most efficient that I can do it, right? It shouldn't matter how much time I have left. And so I've already caught myself in my own fallacy. But these are a lot of things that I'm trying to change in my own mind, and I think it would help a lot of people if they also change it in their mind. Another one is, he said, change or die. Right? And I think it's really extreme. I think it's definitely for TV, but it really is. Like, change, you can't, like, your life isn't going to change if your mentality doesn't change towards life. Another thing I wrote down here is, I said, you cannot enact change if you never reflect. I think a lot of people, and including myself, have a memory of what has happened in their life, and then you also have the reality of what happened. And a lot of the times, they're similar, but they're not the same. And so writing them down gives you the truth of what really happened, and you can still have your memory, and then you can read again what happened in the situation. You honestly probably remember it better because you wrote it down. And so my thing is, how can you know what you were supposed to do last time if you never reflect on what happened last time? Even if it's like a 5-second reflection. Like when I play a lot of basketball, when I shoot a shot and it goes far, I reflect, okay, I won't put as much power next time, so I can make that change. But if I never even thought about why it missed, then how would I ever make it? And so I think, and I don't do enough reflection in my life. I know for a fact in my work that I wrote it down to myself, I need to reflect 1 hour a day about what I did in the day. Because a week from now, I'm not going to remember all the nuances of what I did. So this was another thing. I've had a lot of friends throughout my life. Not a lot of great ones, but I think the amount of great ones that I've had has been pretty influential in my life as well. And I've never really asked them what they think they're the best at life, or what's their strongest skill. And then the more important follow-up is to ask them how they do it, right? So like, let's say if my strongest skill is planning, then I would ask them, how do you plan? And it's just to learn. It's not even to copy them, I think, because you can get good and bad ideas, right? Or you can get things that fit your life and things that don't fit your life. But at least it's another perspective from somebody that they consider themselves an expert at, or the best thing that they do in their life. And there's no way they do it bad, right? If the best thing that they do in their life is bad, then their life's already pretty shitty. I don't know what type of friends they're hanging out with, right? So they must be doing something good in their life to get to a certain point of success themselves, right? And so I think I'm going to start asking people that I have a deeper connection with that question, because I do need to learn more. And I think I've been living this life too solo, and I need to share out my ideas more. I wrote down, you need more obsession. I think I do. I think I also just need more anxiety in my life. I wish I was more anxious about being single the rest of my life and never having kids. I wish I was more anxious about being fat for the rest of my life and never getting athletic again. I'm not fat right now, but I'm not at my peak, right? Well, like, I should be more anxious to never get back to the best state of my life, right? I'm only 22, and how can I be at my best that I've ever been at? I guess this just goes back to the life maxing. I'm trying to start a new sector of these pills, maybe. But I think there's a lot of people that want to do it. Everyone talks a big game. I talk a big game. But I think there's very few people that actually play a big game, right? And show up to the moment. And I want to be one of those people. And so I think the way to make that change is to think you are and to do the things that they do, because that's the only way that happens. So this was interesting. My brother, he had talked to one of his friends, or like he had gone back to see a group of his friends, and he came back and we were asking him about, like, oh, how are they doing? How's he doing? Blah, blah, blah. And one of the people he said was that he's gotten more confident because he's accepted himself. And so that made me think, would I rather accept myself or would I rather find myself? And I think there's a big difference between accepting and finding, because accepting means kind of giving up and just agreeing with the situation at hand, the cards that you were dealt, while finding yourself means that you got to a point where you're content, right? I think it's people that accept it don't necessarily like it. While finding yourself, you don't really find something that you don't want to find. I guess you can, but then you continue to search, right? And so I want to make sure that I'm finding resolutions versus accepting the way it is. Like, I actually thought about this last night when I showered. I don't really like my shower head because when I like to put on body soap, I don't like the water running on me. So I tilt the shower head down. But on the shower head here, it doesn't allow me to tilt it. And I've just kind of accepted it for the last couple months, right? But I thought about it last night in the shower, and I was like, why am I just accepting the situation? I'll just pay like $50 for a new shower head. I guess I haven't looked at any research yet, but I'll just pay $50 for a shower head, and I no longer have to accept that problem. I found a solution. And yeah, I guess I don't know. Like, I think that's a perfect example of the difference between accepting and finding. So another thing, so I was driving back to my apartment yesterday, and I noticed the seat setting. So my car has like a seat setting where it's like two default, or not defaults, but like two buttons, and then there's like a set button. And I pressed them. I never set them before. I pressed it, and my seat didn't move. And that just made me think, they decided as a product to not have a default set for the seat, and to only have a value when the user sets it. And so then at a higher level, if I extrapolate from the situation, I was thinking, so they've decided that they don't want to give somebody something that they don't want, right? I didn't technically want the new seating position. I guess I was just curious, more so curious, but I didn't want their new position, so they didn't give it to me. And I think a lot of people nowadays give what's unwanted. And I guess that's a little oblivious. Maybe people are more oblivious. I don't know. I think texting or the internet and constant communication with people has ruined a lot of value to face-to-face talking. But that's a whole separate conversation. So I have a lot of other ideas, but this video is already getting kind of long. If you guys want, wow, if you guys want more content in a specific area or specific topic, please feel free to drop comments on that. If you don't want as much motivation, I have a lot of stuff about different ideas that I think are interesting. I think having good questions in life is also a sign of intelligence and a sign of curiosity. So for example, I thought about lottery funding the other day. It really is interesting how I want to know the proportional growth of a lottery fund, right? Because it starts at, let's say, $100,000. Then you have a bunch of people buy $5 tickets. So let's say they buy $100,000 worth of tickets to try to win $100,000, right? So you take, I don't know, a percentage of that, let's just say 50, and then it goes up to 150. And if it continues to do the same number of people that it is, but I'm assuming the number of people that want the money also grows exponentially as the money grows, right? Because as the money gets larger, let's say the money gets to 1 trillion, you're going to have probably more percentage of the population try to make the $1 trillion versus if it's at 10 million, right? And so I guess 1 trillion, probably everybody in their model would buy every single ticket. But that's also another thing that you have to keep account of if you're trying to win it. But that just makes me think of like lottery funding. How much money are they actually taking out? How much money is it changed depend on what they want? Like, are they trying to get to round numbers? So if they're at 100,000, and then because they always have bank, if it only makes 220,000, do they round to 225 and put the extra 5,000 in themselves, or do they just round to 220, right? Or like if it's 218, do they round up, or do they, even if it's smaller, do they round to the nearest 100? I think it's just interesting business to think about. This is also kind of a monopoly, but at the same time, it's not, because it's not a necessary good. But yeah, so I have a lot of other ideas that are kind of interesting topics that you guys can think about. Bring it up to your friends. Think about it yourself. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything I said today. Yeah, I guess I'll just close it up with like the outro. Okay, so I found what I wrote. I thought for the longest time I should gatekeep my mentality in the way I move through life, but I decided I want to find more people who want to improve themselves in all aspects of their life, like me. So #LifeMaxing. Thanks for coming back, y'all. Hope you follow me on this new journey. I know I'll probably get a different demographic of viewers, and I hope they approach life like I do now. Set it out.
This video will keep. Falling stars through the night, and I've been thinking about you every night. If you have me, I don't think I should be alright, cause it's tragic and I can't seem for to sign. And I think I should leave, should I leave it alone? Should I try, or just, I can't lie, I be wanting for the cry. But I'm caught up with these hoes, they gon' follow, ballin' like a bottle blocker. Every time I catch my feelings, lock 'em in a bottle. And you probably find my heart somewhere lost in Nevada. Don't you know I want you the one I want, ooh. Never said I don't, that's that money talk, ooh. Drunker than a skunk, it go down in the room. Choppers in the trunk, baby, this that slime tone. But I need your love, like right now, baby, ooh. I'm not on no drugs, not right now, it's the truth. I apologize for you looking like a fool. I can hold you right now, cause I be holding on my tool. I don't want my ex, I don't want no bitch I had. I just want a chance, hopefully I make you glad. If you turn me down, tell the truth, I just might spaz. If you around the lunch, I probably didn't ask. And I think I should leave, I leave it alone, hey. Should I try, or just, I can't lie, I be wanting for the cry. But I'm caught up with these hoes, they gon' follow, ballin' like a bottle blocker. Every time I catch my feelings, lock 'em in a bottle. And you probably find my heart lost in Nevada, hey.